Hello from Wells Fargo Arena. I'm Eliav Gabay with Steven Van Durme and Troy Tauscher. We're talking ASU men's basketball, who will actually go to Orlando, Florida this week for the Tire Pros Invitational. Troy, I'll turn to you first. What do you want to see out of ASU in this tournament?
Well, one of the things I'm really looking for from the Sun Devils is how well they play on a neutral floor. They got 2 wins here to start their season in Wells Fargo Arena, and I think the home crowd really energized them during the difficult stretches of that game, especially on Sunday against Cal Poly. So I'm really looking to see how much energy they can bring just by themselves and by their own unity as a team to the table, because in order to succeed this season, they're going to have to win on neutral floors, and later on, they're going to have to be able to win on the road. So I'm really looking to see what ASU does away from Tempe, because I think how they perform on a non-friendly environment could go a long way to determining what their ceiling is this season.
All right, Steve, I'll turn to you now. What does ASU need to do in order to consider this week a success?
Well, going along with what Troy said, this team needs to find a way to win on these neutral floors, and I think ASU needs to win 2 games this weekend out of their 3. You got some stiff competition this week compared to last weekend. You got Northern Iowa, you got a team like Oklahoma you could potentially face, Xavier, Clemson, Davidson, teams like that. So I think you've really got to show fans, if you're ASU, that this is not going to be the same old ASU team. You know, you got to show those strides that you're planning to make this year.
All right, Troy, let's talk about the opposition now. ASU is in a tough bracket. Tell me a little bit about who's going to be the most challenging team for ASU to face.
Well, they've got 3 teams in their sort of side of the tournament bracket. They've got Oklahoma, they've got Tulane, and Northern Iowa. And Tulane, they've struggled recently, but they're 1-1 in the season, so they can be an okay matchup for the Sun Devils. Oklahoma, a national semifinals team last year, but they lost a few players, so they might not be quite as good. I definitely think their biggest challenge in their bracket is going to be their first game on Thursday against Northern Iowa. That's a team that can play really well on both sides of the ball, and I think they're really going to test ASU, because in order to succeed this season, they're going to need to do that as well. They're going to need to play offense and defense for 40 minutes through and through. They won't be able to let up, and I think Northern Iowa, being such a good 2-sided team, is going to really push ASU to its limits in that regard, and I think they're going to give them a really tough out.
All right, Steven, last questions for you. Who's going to be the dark horse out of this entire tournament?
Guys, my dark horse is the Clemson Tigers. They're bringing back one of the top players in the ACC in Jerron Blossom game. They got some solid help for him outside in Reed and DeVoe this year. They got some talent coming on inside this year. So it'll be interesting to see when they can piece that together, if they can. But I think that if they do, they can make a good run in this tournament. I think they could beat Davidson by double digits, and I think they could give Xavier a good run for their money.
All right, guys. Well, there you have it from Steve and Troy. I'm Eliav Gabay. Remember, ASU goes to Orlando, Florida this week for the Tire Pros Invitational. But for now, from Wells Fargo Arena, we'll see you next time.